Good, what's good, what's good? It's your man 100 Grand Ross with The Rock Never Stops. Jaden Ivey is supposed to be coming back probably next week. I had a few people in the chat tell me Monday on the 24th. I'm excited. I have tempered expectations, but I'm excited. Tobias Harris is supposed to be back. And I think that when he comes back, I think it will confirm Isaiah Stewart's permanent fixture in that starting lineup. But I want to dive into what I see taking place with Jaden Ivey's return. I think a lot is going to shift with this roster. I think we're going to see a style of play that is going to be something we haven't seen before. But I'm going to dive into that in this video. But before I do, y'all know the drill. Smash the like button for me. Hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. Look, it's a small thing for you. Real talk. Wow. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing, but it's a big thing for the channel. So if you're in here, if you're watching the video, you enjoy it, smash the like button for me. Hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. I really appreciate all the love and support. Truly, I do. I really do. Let me just start off with this. I am assuming that when Jaden Ivey comes back, he will be back full throttle. And when I say full throttle, I mean Jaden Ivey will be returning back 100% ready to rock, not needing to warm it up. I'm not saying he's gonna have Kobe White's return where he's got 27 and 25 points in his first two games back. I'm not saying that. But I am saying I fully expect a Jaden Ivey who's springy, uh, filled with energy, vigor, and ready to go and ready to rock. Because if he's not, there's no reason for him to come back right now. There is no reason to come back unless he is 100%. So everything I talk about today is caveated with I'm expecting Jaden Ivey coming back 100% ready to go. Tobias Harris, I'm also similarly factoring in if he's not 120%, he's not coming back yet. There's no reason to rush either of them back. So if he's back, he's ready to rock. He's ready to go ham out there. Now, we all know at Tobias Harris's age, ham is a bit tempered, right? But but I think it's going to be a significant addition to this roster, to this bench unit, and I am excited to see what it ends up looking like. Now, let me have some pointed notes or notes of point. I've made some projections in the past based upon contract situations that I thought was a situation, and it's not quite. Duncan Robinson, it has a partially guaranteed contract for next season, and then an unguaranteed contract for that third year. So he's making 16 mil a year for the next 3 years, right? 3 years, 48 million. Partial guarantee for next year. Unguaranteed that third year. Karis LeVert has 2 years locked in guaranteed. Dennis Jenkins is on a two-way deal. I'm pretty sure with the NBA's collective bargaining agreement, if you have a two-way player that stays up on your roster long enough, they automatically kick in um, a like guaranteed minimum deal or something of those sorts. So I think that there's an automatic kicking in terms of guaranteeing this year. But Dennis Jenkins will be a restricted free agent for this offseason. Paul Reed is locked in for 2 years. I believe his second year is partially guaranteed. I'm pull it up right here. Um, it says 2 year, 11 million, but it's giving me the little asterisk for his second year. So there's a good chance his second year is partially guaranteed. But I can fully expect the Detroit Pistons to bring back Paul Reed. I fully expect them to bring back Duncan Robinson the way that he's playing. So there's not as much of a impetus on making sure that these guys have an opportunity to guarantee their contracts. And I've said this before, as an NBA head coach, you have to treat your veterans right. Because if your veterans don't back you, they can turn a whole locker room against you. because they're smart. They understand the game. They can point out all your weaknesses and work against you. They can fully convince all the other players why really this is kind of on them. It's the coach's fault. So if you're not looking out for them, they're not going to look out for you. So to an extent, you kind of owe them, hey, if we signed you and you've been contributing and you're healthy and you're in a contract year, I'm going to do right by you. These guys have families, kids, etc. Javante Green is on a 1 year veteran minimum deal at 32 years old. As much as JB Bickerstaff likes and trusts Javante Green, there's a good chance Javante Green does not return. And the reason why I say that is because Ron Holland is a 6'8" version of exactly how Javante Green is playing. He's just not as experienced. He's not as acclimated to the NBA game. He's nowhere near as polished. But they're not going to spend money to re-sign him, especially in the wake of needing to re-sign Jalen Duren and Jaden Ivey. So these are things to factor in Ivey's return. How does JB Bickerstaff organize this roster? Who's going to get the playing time? Because this team just went from deep to deep, almost too deep, almost too deep. Let me just start off with Jaden Ivey's return. Immediately, he should be plugged into the starting lineup. Immediately. Immediately, the Detroit Pistons need to give Cade, Ivey, Asar, Stu, Duren an opportunity for their best, most talented five to have court time together, which they have never had. Never, ever have they all started together in a game. This will be the first time. They have to decide on long-term extensions for two of those five guys. And then Asar next year. Trajan Langdon, more than likely, has clearly had discussions with JB Bickerstaff. They're going to figure this out. But I'm excited for what it could look like. It's not going to be forced. It's not going to be this ugly, trudged out offense where you're force feeding Ivy, you're force feeding Duren. You're trying to make sure that you give an opportunity. No, this offensive system is already set up for these guys. Remember, last year, Tim Hardaway Jr. was playing Jaden Ivey's future role. When he was out, when Ivy was out, Tim Hardaway Jr. was playing his future role. Dribble handoffs, weak side screens, coming to the ball. A whole lot of what we even see Duncan Robinson doing. He's not going to take the same shots. He won't have to. His speed coming off of those screens, coming towards the ball, when he gets that dribble handoff, he's going to have so much force and momentum. If that defender is not there, it's either going to be a quick pull-up or one dribble, and he's at the rim. Jaden Ivey, I really challenge a lot of you to go back and watch some of his highlight film of last season. Just last season. You don't need to go back further. Just last year and what he was doing. 2 game-winning shots against the Kings, against the Toronto Raptors. He looked lights out. His confidence level in his shot, in his finishing, his ability to take over games, but not just that. When you look at his sheer speed on the court, my God, there are a few players in the NBA who can make everyone else look slow. And these are the best athletes in the world, And there's a few guys in the NBA who will make everyone else look like they're running in sand. Jaden Ivey is one of those guys. Now, I think a lot of us have been looking at Dennis Jenkins over the last week or so. And we love him for all the reasons I've put out there, all the reasons that I continue to talk about. I think he is a gem. He's not Jaden Ivey. And I say that to say that as good as Dennis Jenkins is, what he could potentially do for you on the court, I'm not saying it's not significant. I'm not even saying that this isn't a guy that you want in a closing lineup. I'm not saying that this guy isn't a future NBA starting point guard. What I am saying is he's not Jaden Ivey. And Jaden Ivey has what we call gravity. Dennis Jenkins, we'd say he has grit, right? He's like tough. He works what he has. He maximizes it. And he's a great athlete for all intents and purposes, but he's not Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey is literally a first step blow by, and he's already dunking on you. He's already dunking on you. He has so much speed that the defense has to galvanize around him and just the potential of his drives. When you watch a lot of the highlights, you will see almost every time when he drives to the basket, the entire defense has to collapse. Has to collapse. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you don't collapse, you're going to get subbed out. And when I say collapse, I mean you are going to have to leave your man open to provide help early. Because if you're not early when it comes to helping on Jaden Ivey drives, you're late. If you're not early, you're late. If you try to time it, he's too fast. Jaden Ivey is too fast. So when he gets downhill, the moment he turns that corner and he looks like he's about to put that ball down, you have to go. You have to sprint and get in front of him and force him to make a decision. And what Jaden Ivey began to show last season is he settled down enough to make the read. Now, I've said this before, Jaden Ivey is not a high level, or I should say an elite level game processor. If he has to make the first read, I think he could do that in spades. It's good. He's got it, right? Attack, middle, hit the guy in the corner. He can even make the second read, right? Which is the second option from the help. So let's say a guy's helping from the weak side corner, but then there's somebody helping to cover the corner. So he can make a read where he's driving, he can look up and see the corner's about to get covered, and then he'll find that second option, either dump off to a weak side cutter or kick out to the opposite wing. He can make that read. But the good teams, the great defensive teams, will force you into that tertiary third and fourth option, like a Miami Heat. And this is what I keep saying, why it's so important. I keep driving this home. Why the Detroit Pistons have to get down doing the little things great. They have to increase their, how would you say it? Their not just basketball IQ, but their understanding of how to play and the nuance, how to set a screen just right, how to make sure you set your feet, how to make sure that you wait for the screener, how to make sure that you're boxing out while still getting a read on the rebound. How do you make sure that you're communicating on the back line when you're rotating in your expectation, making sure that you close out with your hands up, Jalen Duren, and you're able to play passing lanes, maintaining verticality, not picking up cheap fouls. All these things that are up here, they don't show up in a box score, right? It's not the block, it's not the steal, it's not the rebound. It's the play, it's your positioning that ensures your team has success from play to play to play to play. And the reason why I keep saying that is because there's one team in the East that will tear you a new one in the playoffs if you have holes in the little things that you're supposed to do in games. And that's the Miami Heat. That is what Heat culture is. They give 100% in all the things that they can control. They don't have these volume, high level scores who could just take over games. They don't have a Luka. They don't have a Cade. They don't have even a Tyrese Maxey. They don't have this volume score that can go toe to toe with another superstar. They don't have a Donovan Mitchell. They don't have the ability to relax offensively. They must get stops to be able to turn that into offensive possessions. That is how they beat you. That is what Heat culture is. I would love one day for them to find someone that they can bring in to play that volume scorer role. But right now, they still don't have them. They have a bunch of dogs, a bunch of pit bulls who are going to get at you every single play. And they will look to exploit the one or two things that you don't do well They're going to force you to do it over and over and over till it creates a landslide of advantage and they beat you. Game one, game three, game four, game six. And next thing you know, you're out the first round and you're like, what the freak just happened? We got blitzed, we got railroaded, and it was all about doing the little things. This is the time when the Detroit Pistons need to learn how to do the little things. This is the time. This is the time. Jaden Ivey needs to return to the starting lineup. So this starting lineup, this big five that we have, our starting five is one of the best starting fives in the NBA, hands down. Talent, defense, two-way play, grit, athleticism, skill, versatility. I don't think there's a better starting five out there. But if I have to ask myself, where do they rank amongst starting fives in terms of the basketball IQ, the dedication to doing the little things, being locked in, that they don't beat themselves, they would fall near the bottom. They just have so much talent, they've been able to get away with a lot. They've been able to give up leads. They've been able to get away with getting into foul trouble constantly, getting tossed out of games, uh, making bad, untimely turnovers and bad decisions, and maybe sulking a bit and not necessarily being locked in and having slow starts. They've been getting away with all this stuff because of how talented they are. But when the playoffs come, a good team is going to exploit all those things. Isaiah Stewart still hasn't figured out. They're just trying to get you tossed out the game, bro. Guys immediately are going to try to do something small, something aggravating, just to get you caught with a high elbow again, elbowing somebody in the head. And you fall for it every time. You fall for it every time still. Jalen Duren, they want to get you in motion. They want to get you behind the play and trust that you're going to reach, you're going to do something foolish, and you're going to pick up a silly foul and get you up out the game. Cade, they're going to keep pressing you full court, turning you 5-6 times, knowing that you're going to burn out the shot clock, barely cross half court in time, and then you're going to do something foolish like pick up the ball right past half court. They teach you in middle school not to do that as a point guard. And yet they know you still struggle to do it. You just did it last game, Cade. Last game. You did the ultimate never do. Dribble past half court, pick up the ball, and allow the trap to come where you got the sideline and the half court line right there behind you. It was a turnover about to happen in the worst moment. And JB Bickerstaff, thank God, saw it and was like, nope, timeout, 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 timeout. Saved you. You're about to get trapped. You're about to turn it over. Right? Like these are the things that you have to figure out. And this is when you're going to figure out. And this is why Jaden Ivey needs to be in the starting lineup. We need to let them have as many reps as possible to figure it out. Now, what I do like about Jaden Ivey in the starting lineup, I think that a lot of us said Jaden Ivey should be watching Dennis Schroeder last year, just sitting right next to him, observing everything he did, because how he was able to run the show, facilitate the decision making, getting us into our offense. These are all things that Dennis Schroeder did in spades that made the game easy for Cade and Duren and everyone else. And if Ivey could pick up a little bit of that, man, he would be so far ahead of the game when he returned. And then now all of a sudden we got a Dennis Jenkins who does what Schroeder was doing, but maybe a little bit better in some ways. Maybe not the mid-range game yet, but downhill, getting to the rim, he's more explosive. Out in transition, he's more explosive. Great job laterally, keeping his man in front of him, moving his feet, getting us into our offense. You see teams know that they can't press him. He's too explosive. He's going north and south. You try to turn him, you get close. It's a quick blow by. He's gone. He gets us into our offense probably better than anyone else on this roster. So now we got a guy. We got a guy who does that. What Jaden Ivey just needs to pick up is what is his role. What is his role going to be next to Cade and Asar? And I've said this before in a preview for the season over the summer, right after Summer League, before preseason, towards the end of preseason. I said Asar Thompson needs to assume the point forward role. Guys are not going to press him. He's not going to have a primary defender. And he has the ability to just blow by guys. He has too much downhill force and speed and power. His handle is shown to be more than tight enough to get it up the court, and he could pass over the top. And he makes good decisions when getting us into our offense. Jaden Ivey, you put them on the wings, two wings that can shoot the ball, create for themselves and others, playmaking, and getting downhill, getting to the free throw line. When you put those two on the wings, it's going to open up the middle of the court. You can stick Isaiah Stewart in a corner. You can have him at the high post. Go a little high-low action, giving it to Stu, between Stu and Duran. You have a whole lot of options. But what we need from Ivy, what we're going to need from Ivy is to be solid. We don't need spectacular. We don't need spectacular. We don't need you to prove something. We don't need you to go out there and say, oh, I've got a show. That's not what we need. We need solid. I kept saying last season, if Jaden Ivey does what Tim Hardaway Jr. did last year with his talent, he'll be a 20 plus points per game scorer and probably give us somewhere around 5 and 5, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, somewhere in that range. Just by playing the role that Tim Hardaway Jr. did next to Cade Cunningham. That's how talented he is. Now, of course, he's going to initiate more offense than we asked Tim Hardaway Jr. to do. When Jaden Ivey is initiating offense, we need him to keep it simple. But this is what we also need to find out. When we get into those high leverage games, when you get into those moments, what does he look like? And this is what I'll posit to you. This is what I will suggest about Jaden Ivey. He needs to be who he is. It's a score. It's a score. Don't try to be Dennis Jenkins. Don't try to be a facilitator. Don't even try to be Dennis Schroeder. In the high leverage moments, be a scorer. Force the defense to guard you as a scorer. Worried about you getting downhill. Worried about you attacking. Worried about you getting your shot off. And from there, make your read. One of the things that Cade Cunningham has struggled with mightily is he gets into this very polar back and forth between being a facilitator and being a scorer. When he's in score mode, he looks amazing. When he's in facilitator mode, he's turnover prone. He has slow, sluggish starts. He can fade a little bit. You can look around and be like, where is he? Cade needs to play into being a scorer and trust that you have enough playmaking and facilitating ability as a collective unit to make up the assists. Jalen Duren should probably end the season. He's gonna be playmaking more and more as the season goes on. Please believe. But what we're also going to see is that when you can get 3 assists from Jalen Duren, when you can get 2 or 3 assists from Isaiah Stewart, when you can get 4 or 5 assists from Asar Thompson, 7 or 8 assists from Cade Cunningham, 4 to 6 assists from Jaden Ivey. No one player has to be a high volume assist producer. Last season, Cade Cunningham was that. That's what Cade Cunningham was for us. But it was more out of necessity. Now, with the full allotment of our talent, you can spread that out. Now is the time to start playing into advantage. Playing into advantage. Now, this is the next part of what to expect with Jaden Ivey's return. Our transition offense is going to be supercharged. Is going to have hydraulics. Is going to have I don't know if y'all ever watched Fast and the Furious back in the day. It's going to have that Nas, right? With Ivy and Asar running the wings in transition. Cade Cunningham bringing the ball up in transition. Full speed ahead. There's not a team in the NBA that has the athletes, the positional size to stay in front of those boys. And that's not even counting Duran or Stewart rim running and sticking their man right under the rim, posting up, sealing them, and looking for the ball. Their transition offense should immediately become outright elite. It should be top 5 within the next month. That much athleticism, that much ability to get downhill and finish at the rim. There really isn't a team that can stay with them. Now, the last part that I keep saying repeatedly, and JB Bickerstaff has echoed this, it's defense first. It's defense first, all the way. When you have so many new components to try to figure out, you're not going to have the chemistry to be a high executing offensive system. It's going to look good at times. It's going to look rough at times. It's going to be um, flashes of greatness, right? Ivy's knocking down his threes. Cade is knocking down his threes. Asar's getting downhill. They're making the extra pass, pass up a good shot for a better shot for the best shot. Next thing you know, you get a dump off or wide open dunk. I mean, there's going to be moments of just like, mwah, chef's kiss. Looks freaking beautiful. And then there's going to be moments where you're like, what the freak is going on? It looks heliocentric. Guys are forgetting that they got teammates. Guys are forcing the ball. There's little turnovers. Remember, we got Duran, who I call AKA Ferdinand the Bull. You got Cade Cunningham, who gets stuck on one side of what type of offense that he's going to play today. You got Ivy, who's going to struggle with making the correct reads, going to try to do too much. Asar Thompson is going to go into a shell and kind of just float around and forget he's supposed to be moving without the ball. All right, you're going to have Isaiah Stewart every once in a while try to do a little bit too much, try to post up a guy that's bigger than him. He's always trying to just throw his weight into somebody. He's just built like that. That's my Jamaican brother. You know what I mean? We like to just, feel me real time, you know what I'm saying? And get the bucket, That's what he likes to do. That's what Stu likes to do. And sometimes we're going to do stuff that's not going to be conducive to the flow of the offense and make sure that we maximize who we have on the court. But that's what this time is to work out. We need those failures. We need those ugly moments. We need those clipses, right? Just like when I did the review of the Atlanta Hawks game, right? And I'm breaking down what I'm seeing. I'm like, ooh, that's ugly. That's not a good look. Oh, we got to do this better, right? There's all these different components that we have to acknowledge now in November, in December, in January, so that it gets cleaned up by February, March, and April when it matters the most. Side note, I got 32 people in the chat. Smash the like button for me, y'all. Hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. Share this live right now. Get on it with your friends. Appreciate all the love and support. Remember, smashing like button is a small thing for you. It's a major thing for the channel. I don't know why it is. So, they call it an algorithm thing. All right, cool. It's a big thing for the channel. So I appreciate all the love and support. I love having y'all out here with me. Let me take a brief pause before I continue going into Tobias Harris's return and the impact on the bench roster, which is going to be major. We're going to have a real discussion about that. But let me get to some of these comments in the chat and give a salute to those who are in here today. I've got, Donovan. Yo, what's good, man? It's good to have you in the chat. Salute, brother. Ethan Kanunan, Ivy's return means we finally quit hearing delusional low IQ Pistons fans talk about trading him. Yep, that's real talk. Rashad Walker, salute, brothers. Good to see you in the chat. Ethan Kanunan, yep. KJB, Trajan all high on Ivy. But Koo, as people thinking, I don't listen to Koo, bro. I don't even listen to Koo, bro. There's some people I just accept you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. Or what you know is what you know, and people have limitations, or they just see what they want to see. I just don't care. Um, I don't care. Rashad Walker was good. Let me see the comment here. Thank you for saying Ethan. Good things. Some of these fans aren't going to run a franchise. It was ready to run during out of town last. Yes, they was. All right, y'all going back and forth. We got Avery Whiteside in the chat. Salute, brother. Exactly. When every possession matters, a lot of these things get exposed. The reason they lost the New York series is because of horrible possessions and turnovers down the line. That's 100% the case. 100% the case. Rock, don't tell Chandler Parsons that he swear up and down the Pistons are a bunch of guys with not much talent with K. Yeah, that's another guy. I don't respect Chandler Parsons, bro. I've seen him, man. I'm okay. I never saw Chandler Parsons and saw a talented high IQ. Chandler Parsons to me is Luke Walton. Very vanilla player. Like, oh, okay. Whatever, Some people I just don't listen to. Let me see. Ethan, Dennis makes it easier to play Cade and Ivy ball together for as many minutes as is healthy. Big facts. Big facts. And I'm gonna get to the bench conversation. Don't worry, I'm gonna get to the bench conversation. I just want to make sure I salute everybody in the chat. Give a shout out to y'all for being here and showing up, and definitely posting, having a conversation in the chat. And then I'm gonna get to the rest of this. Tobias's return, what that means for the bench unit and those rotations as well. The Pistons' lack of experience exposed them in the playoffs. Only gain experience by playing. Big facts. The lack of talent comment was laughable. Talk about not living in reality. Yep, these podcasters don't even watch the Pistons. No, that's real talk. You can tell because when they're talking about them, they was like, Jalen Duren is first team all defense. He's the one anchoring the defense for the Detroit Pistons. I'm like, I had to give him the Nick Young. What? Huh? Bruh. No Asar Thompson? No Isaiah Stewart? No, no, no. Duren? Bro, what are you? Look, you can't just look at a highlight block. And that's many times like what these people are doing. They're watching highlights and they're going like, ooh, and then they make a point and they make a comment. But at least for me, like if I talk about another team, what I'll do is I'll actually watch a game or two, like the full game on League Pass, and I'll check it out and I'll be like, let me see what I'm seeing from them. And then I'll make an assessment. Or if I'm just looking at stats and highlights, I'll acknowledge that. I don't follow this team, but this is what I see. This is what I see. You know what I mean? Some of these guys, they don't do that. I call that journalistic integrity. Let me see. Let me see. Get to the last few of these before I continue. Um, Worthy Victor, yo, what's good? I don't know if I've seen you in the chat before, but it's good to see you in here, brother. Salute to you for showing up today. They'd rather do another story about the Lakers. Yes, they would, but that's what the Detroit Pistons is all about. We disrupt all that. All the people that they want to give the fanfare to, we come in there and we just give me that. We snatch it from them. That's what they've always done. That's what they always done. When the Lakers had that dream team, supposedly, with Karl Malone, Gary Payton, Kobe, they had Shaq, they had all these dudes. What did the Pistons do? Snatch that. Snatch that. You know what I mean? Back when Magic and Bird was going back and forth, Isaiah Thomas in the middle of it, in their primes, was like, nah, nah, nah. Hold up, hold up, hold up. I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need that twice. I'm gonna need that twice. You know what I mean? That's what the Pistons do. So let them give the fanfare where they want, because when we snatch it from them, you know what they say: the bigger they are, the harder they fall. But in order to fall hard, you got to be big in the first place. So I like taking down the big boys. Like, yeah, let's go. Get big. I want you playing great. So when we come in there and we snatch it from you, ain't no excuses. Ain't no excuses. I want you healthy. I want you strong. I want you ready. So when we snatch it from you, which I think is something I can't wait to see from this roster, because I think they got some dogs, man, that will elevate and rise to the occasion. I really think that is the scariest part about them in the playoffs, where they don't have to do everything perfect, but they have the talent to be able to rise to the occasion. And when they rise to the occasion, that's when they're going to play to their maximum potential. Even if they don't know everything, even if they make mistakes, they're going to make such big game-changing plays that other teams are not going to be able to keep up. Remember the New York Knicks first 3 games, Jalen Brunson just foul baited Asar Thompson the whole time, flopping, foul baiting the referees, flailing all over the place. It was nasty. I stopped becoming a fan of his. I was a big Brunson fan from Villanova on. When he was in Dallas, gets to the Knicks, right? I was a big Brunson fan, and then all of a sudden I saw that and I was like, bro, I can't respect that. And I know he changed that because New York don't respect that. New York don't respect that. Look, my family's from Brooklyn, man. We hooped. I mean, Brooklyn is different as it's mad gentrified, just like the Bay is getting right now. Gentrification sucks, bro. It sucks because places that had so much culture and so much sense of community connection and stuff that you got used to like experiencing, it gets, it sucks. But it's just to say, back in the day, man, when we hooped, out there, because I go out there, I had to represent Cali. You know what I mean? They trash talk, like, Cali out here, what you got? I'm like, we got jumpers, we wet, we cold with it. I'm about to, give it to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm from the Bay. We got GP, J Kid, Aaron Gordon. You know what I'm saying? Like we do what we do out here. I represent, but you go hard. Like you can't call no fouls. You got to go hard, bro. So I know that they weren't respecting seeing Jalen Brunson flop all over the place. They like, man, that's ugly as hell. But we trying to root for our team. They finally winning, but that looked ugly, bro. Somebody probably talked to him in a PR, and they was like, look, hey, you got to change this up. This is not a good look. This is not what New York is like. So Jalen Brunson changed that. But that's how they got through the first few games by getting Asar Thompson off the court because Asar Thompson was giving Jalen Brunson headaches. But now that Asar Thompson is established and you can't just foul bait him, he's shutting that down. And imagine when you can start with a Jaden Ivey on a Brunson. And then you got Asar Thompson as a help defender. You know how nasty Asar is as a help defender? I don't know if y'all recognize the plays Asar Thompson made in that fourth quarter where he ripped the ball right out of Jalen Johnson's hands, right? As a help defender. Came over, weak side block, batted that shit, right? Getting deflections, digging down help defense, right? Ripping guys at the top of the key. He makes so many dynamic plays that he just makes because of his anticipation, hand-eye coordination, agility, lateral movement, his absolute phenomenal athleticism and quickness, but also he's so locked in. His defensive IQ, man, it's just it's on levels, bro. It's on levels. So the plays that he makes out there, and you imagine now you're starting Isaiah Stewart next to him. Yo, now you got two incredible help defenders surrounding Cade and Ivy. Yo, this team's potential, especially this starting five, their potential to play up in big moments when it's needed. They have an ability to lock in, and when they lock in, bro, they can take games. They can snatch people's heart, and it don't matter. It don't matter who's on the court. They will snatch your heart. They will snatch your heart. I'm so looking forward to them going on the road and facing Oklahoma City, facing the Los Angeles Lakers, facing the Denver Nuggets, and giving it to those teams. Because it's going to be one of those elevation moments. It's going to be one of those, going into Cleveland and getting a lick back. Be like, nah, bruh, that ain't what it was, bruh. That ain't what it is out here, bruh. All right, you got me that one time. Like, that's how we grew up. Somebody beat you up one day. All right, you go right back the next day. Like, nah, I'm going to need that back. I'm going to need that back, bro. I'm going to need that back. And you keep going until you get yours back. And that's what we're doing against the Bucks tomorrow. Because they've been whooping our tail for so damn long, bro. So damn long, bro. We got to get that back. We got to get that back. I'm going to be honest with you. All season. All season. We got to smack Milwaukee 2 out of 3 times, 3 out of 4 times. They in our division. If not, sweep them up out of here. Especially once Giannis gets back. Especially once he gets back. We got get them up out of here. Get them up out of here. Get to some of these comments in the chat. Let me see. Shaw Walker. I can't read all these. Sorry. Asar is less foul prone as a help defender. Facts. The guy even faked hurt. Yeah. So when I'm looking at the outlook for this team, they have such a high ceiling, and they're nowhere near it. And they are nowhere near it. Ivy must start when he gets back because they need to maximum the amount of time to build the chemistry to truly see what this team's potential is. Now, here's the thing. Tobias Harris is also coming back. So now you have Asar Thompson back at the small forward, Isaiah Stewart at power forward. You got Jaden Ivey at shooting guard, Cade Cunningham at point guard. Really, Ivy and Cade are guards. Asar is a wing. Play some guard, play some forward. Stu and Duran are centers. Stu just happens to have the agility to stay in front of guys and that lateral mobility. I feel like he's worked on it. I feel like somebody got into his ear and said, look, for you to take this next step, we need you to be able to start at power forward. We need you to be able to shoot threes with regularity. I'm talking about volume, 6 to 8 threes in a game regularly. And we need you to be able to contain on the perimeter. So you got to work on getting your hips low, sliding your feet, communicating, hands up, active, so that you can contain. And if you can do that and shoot threes, bro, you're in the starting lineup. And sure enough, that's what he's been showing. When I think about Isaiah Stewart in that starting lineup at the power forward position, I'm really intrigued because we're going to have so many options. And there's another reason why Jaden Ivey needs to start from day one is because we need to get these guys accustomed to playing together so that they maximize the talent on the roster and they begin to make it easy for themselves by exploiting the mismatches, right? Running specific plays to get guys going. Make sure that there's a balance of shot attempts. I keep saying Duran needs to have at least about 15 shot attempts a game because of the impact that he has on the opposing defense. When he's able to get downhill, he gets to the free throw line 8 to 12 times a game. When he gets up 14, 15, 16 shot attempts, he's at the free throw line also. It's an indication of his focus, being locked in and aggressive. And that also translates to the opposing centers being in foul trouble, can't challenge as much at the rim, have to play a little bit more passively, which open things up for Cade, Asar, and Ivy attacking the rim and Stewart, right? It opens things up in terms of team foul trouble. So now when they reach in, they're already in the bonus. We get to the free throw line more. We're able to be more in a rhythm to knock down shots. All these things have a downhill effect. Jalen Duran must stay aggressive with Ivy's return. And I'll probably do a short video on that soon. But then you also have Isaiah Stewart's three-point shooting ability. I felt like at times in the last game, Stu was rolling on a pick and roll instead of popping to turn into that pick and pop because he had Onyeka Kongwu. He had Muhammad Gay, who's like 6'11", springy athlete. And then he had Jalen Johnson all out there who were collapsing in the paint. And here he comes rolling with Cade. And it's like, bro, they're going to smother you. He really wasn't an option. But if he had popped, if he had saw who was out there and said, you know what, they're collapsing the paint, I need to pop. All of a sudden, Cade has that outlet. Instead of forcing a pass, forcing a shot, he just kicks that ball right back to you, bang, bang. And this is what Isaiah Stewart needs to get used to, being in the right positions and his teammates knowing where he's going to be. Right? We don't need you to play like Duran. We need you to play like Stu. We need you to be you. And what we're asking you to do, especially in that starting lineup, is pick and pop, spread the floor. In this starting lineup, we need 5+ three-point attempts per game. That's really what we need from Isaiah Stewart. In the starting lineup, when you are playing with Cade, Ivy, Asar, Duran, we need you to be a floor spacer. You can still rim run in transition. Please do that, right? We can still use you on the offensive glass. Please do that. But where we need you the most in that starting lineup is to be a willing floor spacer, 5+ attempts a game. If you do that and you're shooting 38 to 40%, eventually by maybe December, January, teams see that 38 to 40% from three-point line and you're taking 5 attempts, all of a sudden they're going to say, we have to pay attention to him. Because Isaiah Stewart hitting 2, 3, or 4 threes in a game blows the game wide open. It blows the game wide open. Now, with Sarah Thompson, you also have to get accustomed to asking for the ball, demanding the ball, staying back for the ball to initiate offense when we have to run half court after a scored basket. Don't just take off. If they score, you need to hang back and bring the ball up. Let Cade just go. Because what they're going to do against Cade is they're going to just try to work him the whole way up, wear him out, try to force him into a turnover. If you get the ball, we know, one, you're going to have the third worst perimeter defender on you. That's just a reality. Cade and Ivy are better offensive scoring talents than you. And that's no slight. It's to say that within your role, because of that, you have more of a propensity to be able to initiate offense without pressure. And because of your height, size, and floor vision and skill in terms of facilitation and seeing the floor, seeing all the players and knowing what's taking place around you, you're able to get the ball where it needs to go to get us into our offense. But we need you to have that mindset. We need you to have that mindset off rip. As soon as the shot goes in the basket, you're hanging back and you're like, Cade, I got it. Or if Cade gets it and his man starts to press him, you're right there and be like, you already know what it is. You know what it is. Give me the rock. Give me the rock. We're not going to do this. There's no reason to do this. And Cade has to be like, oh, yes, for the betterment of the team, I need to defer. I need to defer. Let me see a couple of comments here that I saw that look pretty good. Um, Stu is definitely underrated. Asara must become a good free throw shooter. That is facts. That is more important than 3-point shot. Yes. But he needs to keep shooting that 3-point shot because the death sentence for shooting is to stop shooting early in your career. If you stop taking wide open attempts, that is the death sentence for your shooting development. You have to take the open looks. You have to. Even if you miss, it's still a good shot. It's still a good shot, even if you miss. You just have to play with confidence. You have to have that self belief that you're going to figure it out in each opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to not just practice, but to develop that comfort, which is why we want Duran taking 18 footers, not necessarily for today, but for where we anticipate him being by the playoffs or next season and the year after. Remember, he's only 22 years old. We need you guys preparing not just for the moment, but for the full run of this championship window. So there's that on the SAR Thompson, but he definitely needs to work on those free throws. Just keep it smooth. Just keep it smooth. I used to do player development, shot development. Um, you can work on mechanics. You can slightly change and tweak over time. But the number one thing you must do is shoot smooth. The reason why is because the flow of energy that comes from your base, when it's moving through the body smoothly, it transfers smoothly. Once you pause it, you actually change the transfer of energy. And the next part within that kinetic chain through your body to the shot actually has to restart and make up for the energy that was lost in the pause and then try to put that into the shot. So this is where you see players come up like this and they pause. And then when they do shoot, it's a lot of arms. It's more of a push shot. And you begin to notice that, okay, when they do this, and we usually call it a hitch. When they have that hitch, now all of a sudden that shot can get real ugly because you're shooting with your upper body and not from your base. Now we all know the legs are 70% stronger than your upper body. So they have the ability to maintain their strength longer throughout the duration of the game. Whereas your upper body can get more fatigued, especially your arms. You're getting fouled, you're getting bumped all game, right? So your arms can get more fatigued, which is going to lend to, if you're shooting your shot with your arms versus your legs, and your arms are fatigued, this is where your mechanics break down tremendously. So you want to allow that transfer of energy to be smooth from your base, from your feet, from that first plant, all the way through that kinetic chain, through your legs, through your torso, into the arms, smooth release. Practicing that every single time is imperative. You watch Amin Thompson when he shoots his threes, smooth. It's not a great shot yet, but that's what he's focused on. You could tell he's taking the right shots that he knows he's supposed to be taking, but it's his confidence. And we need to see the same thing in Asar, Ron Holland, and the rest. Let me keep going. There's a couple of comments here that I wanted to get to. A shooter like Royce O'Neal from the Suns would be nice for the Pistons. Sure. And Donovan, I don't think that we need to trade for anybody. Right now, I don't think we need to trade for anybody. I think we have a really good roster that fits, and the chemistry on this roster is so good. It is so good. And this takes me to a point about the bench unit and Tobias Harris. Um, Worthy Victor said Toby's 26 million and Karras' 14 million would likely be in any trade of Ivy Holland. No, no, no. Stop all that. Stop all that. Who are you trading for? Who are you trading for? Who are you trading for? Who is available that is worth a 22-year-old Jalen Duren or 23-year-old Jaden Ivey? Who out there has the potential of our young guys who's worth one of these major potential contracts that then nullifies our ability to re-sign Duren and Ivy? Who? Who? I really challenge people with that. And people want to say Laurie Markkinen at 28 years old. Laurie Markkinen is an off-ball movement scorer. He needs someone else to set him up. He's not a give me the ball, get out the way, I can create on my own. So when we look at who he really is, and then you look at that salary at 50 plus million, I think he ends at like 58 million. To lock into that big of a salary under this new second apron, that is a poison pill contract. That is a contract that kills your salary cap and it sticks you in the mud to say, this is all you got. If you trade for Laurie Markkinen, it's him and Cade and a bunch of veterans. Because these young guys, Asar, Ivy, Duran, you won't be able to afford to bring them back. Those guys are all $30 million a year players. All three of them. All three of them are $30 million a year contract players. Fortunately, they're young enough to where they're only going to get better. So they should, by the end of that contract, be outplaying the value of that contract. It will be a better and better contract long term for the Detroit Pistons. Going after Laurie Markkinen completely undermines the long-term potential of this team and their depth and their young talent. I think in 2 years, Asar is better than Laurie. Duran is going to be better than Laurie. Ivy will be better than Laurie, or at least on par, and cost almost half as less. Almost half as less. Right. So, yeah, I wouldn't trade for Laurie at all. And I don't see someone else who's young enough, unless you're talking about, we can get Paulo Banchero for like Duran and something like if we're getting one of those, like, all right, cool. I ain't mad at that, but don't tell me about Devin Booker's 50 plus $1 million. Like Devin Booker he's not coming here to be a second fiddle, right? And not everybody wants to come home. Not everybody wants to come to their own backyard where they got a lot of family, friends, connect. Like they gotta really integrate themselves. Not everybody wants that life. LeBron is rare, right? Now, if you're from LA, you want that weather and salary and publicity being in the market. But if it's not that, if it's not New York, like coming home comes with a lot of like extra stuff you have to deal with. Not everybody wants that. Let me say this: our bench unit with Tobias Harris back, I foresee it's going Paul Reed, Tobias Harris. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to list 6 guys: Duncan Robinson, Javante Green, Karis LeVert, and Dennis Jenkins. And between Duncan, LeVert, and Javante, those 3 will be situational. I don't think we're playing Karis LeVert on any back-to-backs. I think that's just understood. We're not playing him back-to-backs at all. But at the same time, those 3 are going to be our main wing rotation guys. And Tobias Harris is going to hold down that 4 position. He's in a contract year. He was injured early on. He's 33 years old. This is his last probable contract of his career. He wants an opportunity to hoop. Moving him to the bench means, oh, he better get his minutes. He understands what it is. Isaiah Stewart is the heart and soul of this team. You can't re-sign Duran and have Isaiah Stewart long term and they're splitting center minutes. You just can't have that. You can't pay Duran 30 plus million to only play 23, 24 minutes a game. That's just not what this is. Uh, but it's to say that he still needs to make sure he gets his minutes so that even if we can't re-sign him, he's had the opportunity to maximize how he wants to end his career. That's how you do right by these players who have families, who they have to take care of. And this is his last contract. The player who gets squeezed out, and I've been saying this, is Ron Holland. Now, Chaz Lanier, it's like neither here nor there. If he just got drafted. Bobby Klintman, neither here nor there. My man, where's he at? Tolu Smith, who I love to death. It's probably back in the G League. It's probably Tolu, Bobby, Ron, Chaz in the G League, balling out, lighting their asses up, winning. They should win the G League, right? Ron Holland should be G League MVP, if not Bobby Klintman, right? They should have the most talent in the G League. They should be balling out. You are the man. We want to see Detroit style basketball. and what it looks like for you to be at the helm. So that if there is another injury, because injuries happen, right? Knock on wood, injuries happen. When it happens, you come back confident. Just like Dennis Jenkins, people have to realize Dennis Jenkins was in the G League balling out 20 some points per game, having big 30 plus point games, getting double digit assists, dominating down there. He was dominating in the G. So by the time he got to Summer League, by the time he got up here, he's killing. In fact, could we see Marcus Sasser in the G League? It hurts to see him down there. I'm gonna be honest. It would hurt to see Marcus Sasser down in the G League, but I would rather see Marcus Sasser in the G League balling out and busting their ass than sitting on the edge of the bench looking sad. Because he would be. He would be. He's like, I put in all this work all summer and then I get hurt. Right? That's a killer. He's had a different coach, from his rookie year to his sophomore year. They changed his role a little bit. They asked him to be something else, and then this summer he's like, you know what? I'm gonna put in the work to figure this out so I can come in ready to go. And then he gets hurt. And everybody was raving about him, but then he got hurt. And now Dennis Jenkins has stepped up in a major way that can't be denied. And all of a sudden it's like, all right, Sass, you may have to go back to the G League. And not even back to, I don't even think he really ever went down there. But it would be an opportunity for him to make sure that when an opportunity opened up again, he's in a rhythm. He's in a rhythm. Look, I want to see Sasser down there averaging 30 points a game. I want to see Sasser, Chaz Lanier, Ron Holland, Bobby Klintman, and Tolu Smith looking like the freaking Globetrotters. I want to see them in the G looking like the freaking Monstars out there. That's how they should approach it. Like, look, because you have to understand, today's NBA, they are looking at the G League hard. Just look at Dennis Jenkins. Just look at Ryan Rollins for Milwaukee. These are guys who are coming in, significant players. Scottie Pippen Jr., right? These guys come in, TJ McConnell. These guys may not look like a lot when they first got here. But as they play down there against these NCAA All-Stars and they begin to show themselves being the cream of the crop down there, they're building their confidence and their focus. You recognize when these guys come in from the G League, they are so locked in. Dominic Barlow in Philadelphia, right? These guys are so locked in because in the G League, you have to not only be great talent-wise, but you have to be great in terms of your ability to play in a style that teams can see your talent and see you as a potential role player. Because when you get brought up into the NBA, that will be your role. You're being brought up and in, best case scenario, as the 10th man. Best case scenario, as the 10th man. Things have gone wrong, whole bunch of injuries. All right, 10th man. It would break Ron's heart to send him to the G League. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. He's been struggling. He's been struggling. And I think he's ready to show out. He's ready. Like, he's been a scorer. He's been the man for so long. And I think if he goes down there with Bobby Klintman, with Tolu Smith, with Marcus Sasser, with Chaz Lanier, and just be like, look, we just happen to have a deep as hell team. We happen to have a general manager who brings in great veterans who fit our system. We just happen to deal with the situation that now we're fully healthy. We happen to have all these really good things when it comes to team winning, but your individual pursuits may have to take a hit. That's a reality. You're not Modest Buzelis on the trash Chicago Bulls and just get playing time because of your talent and they want to give you a chance to develop. You're on a team that's winning. So now you got to play a role. And I think that can help long term for Ron Holland to be able to develop parts of his game. Marcus Sasser too. All the stuff you were working on over the summer. It's an opportunity for you to show it every single night in the G League because other general managers and front office members are watching those G League games. Are watching. They see it. They see Tolu Smith. They see Bobby. Bobby was not balling last year in the G League. He was not. Chaz Lanier hasn't been in the G League yet. Marcus Sasser hasn't been in the G League yet. If you go down there and you're dropping 30 something points a game in off days, yo, we see it. So then when you get called up, or keep in mind, not all of your G League team's games are on the same day as the NBA games. So sometimes what happens is you are in a G League game on what would be a practice day, and then you might still go to the NBA game, right? So you can still be on the full roster, Ron Holland, Marcus Sasser, right? You can still be on that roster, Tolu Smith, Bobby Klintman, Chaz Lanier. You can still be on the main roster while also being in the G League. So you would still travel with the team. You might even practice with the team. You just so happen to also be practicing with the G League team, so you're doubling up. But this is to get you the reps. This is how you develop. You got to get the reps. And if you can't get it in the end game in the NBA, in a situation where it really doesn't matter, like with the Washington Wizards or the Charlotte Hornets, right? You want to go play for the New Orleans Pelicans where it doesn't matter and you can just get up shots and figure it out in real time. All right, dope. Go there. But you're not there. The reality is you're here, and making the most of it looks like, you know what? This is the situation. Make the most of the time. I see that five being in the G League because when you got Dennis Jenkins, Karis LeVert, Javante Green, Duncan Robinson, Tobias Harris, Paul Reed, tell me who's better. Is Ron Holland better? Is Tolu Smith better? Is Bobby Klintman better than any of those guys? Is Marcus Sasser better than those guys? And I love Marcus Sasser. I love Marcus Sasser. Chaz, you just got here, bro. But none of y'all have proven to be better than those guys. Our veterans have all hit. And now our young, talented core is back. Is back. You are going to have to play your part. If you fight it, it's only going to work against you because it's the reality. It's the reality. Ron Holland, you're not there yet. You're not playing better than Tobias Harris. You're not playing better than Karis LeVert, Duncan Robinson, Javante Green. You're just not. It's okay. You're in year 2. You got 2 more years under contract. Make the most of this because when Javante Green becomes a free agent, and as well as he's playing, he's going to get picked up somewhere. Somebody's going to look at Javante Green in a winning situation and go, damn, he looked good. We could use that. We can use that. Team like the Golden State Warriors, a team like the uh, even the Indiana Pacers, a team like the Milwaukee Bucks, a team like the you know so many of these playoff teams, these fringe playoff teams, the Los Angeles Lakers or the Portland Trailblazers, like they're gonna see vets like that and go, we could use that. That guy here, or maybe a little bit more than a veteran minimum. So you're getting a veteran minimum. He's getting what, 2.29, and all of a sudden now you get a $5 million deal, $7 million a year a deal, maybe on a 1-and-1, maybe on a 2-year guarantee, maybe on a Duncan Robinson 1 full year guarantee, second year partial, third year unguaranteed. You can play for it, right? Like Javante Green's have an opportunity at 32 to prove himself, and he likely is, and he's going to end up someplace else next year. That's when you got to be ready to step in, Chaz Lanier. Sorry, Ron Holland. Sorry, Marcus Sasser, Bobby Klintman. You got to be ready. Tobias Harris might be hooping, and somebody says, "Hey, I might be willing to give Tobias Harris 18 million a year." That might be more than what we're willing to give him. And he might say, "You know what? I can go back to Orlando. I can go someplace else. I can go to the Clippers. I can go to the Lakers. I can go and get, 15, 18, 20 million for 2 to 3 more years of my career." Dope. And if Bobby Klintman, if you're hooping, Ron Holland, if you're hooping down in the G League, dropping 20 something points a game, double digit rebounds, you know what I mean? You out there blocking shots, playing great D, great effective field goal percentage. You're out there, your team win shares and your defensive percentages, all the advanced stats say you are growing and developing. Yo, we can't wait to say, yo, Tobias Harris, it's all love. It's all love, bro. We always gonna cherish our time together, just like Tim Hardaway Jr., just like Malik Beasley. We always gonna have love for you, bro. You was a part of the change. Hey, it's always gonna be all love, bro. But we gonna go our separate ways, though. You know what I mean? Like, hey, it's all love, though. You feel me? It's all love. and then we just bring Ron Holland and Bobby Clement up, and you playing big roles. You playing a big role. So that's the importance of the G League right now. That's the importance for these guys. Let me get to the super chat. Yo, Domo Davi was good with the $10 super chat. Much respect. Salute to you, brother. He says, don't know if you touched on this yet, but all these media, Triple J, Lori, AD trade proposals have been hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I don't want to make any moves right now. Big facts. Big facts. I wouldn't do Jaren Jackson Jr. because he doesn't rebound. He's not Detroit basketball. He's not physical. He's not tough. He's not better than Isaiah Stewart. He's not better than Isaiah Stewart. He's not. He's not better than Isaiah Stewart. Now, here's why they're really saying this. Because they want us to take those contracts. They're looking around who could potentially absorb this contract. Jaren Jackson is not on a bad contract, but he's getting 39. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I take that back. He's on a terrible contract. He's on a terrible contract. This year, it's a good contract at $35 million. Next year, it goes up to 49, 50, 52, and 53. He'll be turning 30. Jaren Jackson is not worth no $50 million. I'm sorry. A big man who doesn't rebound is not worth $50 million. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. You got your money. It's all love. I never gonna speak against a man's wallet. I'm saying current contract situation with the Detroit Pistons salary cap and long-term outlook, Jaren Jackson Jr. does not fit the outlook. Yeah, Jaren Jackson's about 6'10, 6'11, doesn't rebound. I don't know what it is. It's a glitch in the system. It's a glitch in the system. He doesn't rebound. That's not what we need here. Because how many games have you seen the Memphis Grizzlies be in? They're in a dogfight down the stretch of a game and can't secure the board. In those moments, you look at them different and you go, we done played all this damn defense. We're flying around, closing out, moving our feet, rotating, getting in the passing lanes, help defense, hedging, and you can't even get the board. You right there, bro. You forgot to box out. You don't jump for the board. It's a glitch in his matrix. He's not better than Isaiah Stewart. Sorry. But then you got other guys that they're talking about, similar to Lauri Markkanen. Lauri, you're not worth that price tag for us. Once again, I ain't going to speak against your wallet, bro. But at 28 years old, you're getting 46, 49, 53.5 million in that last year. You're going to be 32 years old. You're going to be as old as Tobias Harris was last year. By the time this contract ends, you are in your prime, ready to win right now. I'm not mad at it. But the problem is once we get you, we can't do nothing else. We can't do nothing else. Lauri Markkanen is not an option for us. Not if we want cap flexibility to maintain having depth on our roster and considering injuries happen, knock on wood, right? They happen. You need depth. We see how imperative our depth has been. Having a $16 million a year Duncan Robinson and I think a $12, $13 million a year Karis LeVert, right, has been big for us. Has been big. Tobias Harris, 24 million. Like these veterans are big for us. We need to make sure we have depth so we don't have to lean so heavily on Cade. Because remember, Cade is not a workhorse. He's not a 75, 80 game a year Ironman and then playoffs. That's not who he is. So we don't want to lean on him heavily. We need to have depth so that we can diffuse the responsibilities, diffuse the responsibility of our offense, right? Let me get to the other points by Dom. We should see it as a blessing that we don't have to rush young players into roles anymore. Yes, we do not have to rush anything. He an empty numbers king. He plays great D. He plays great defense, but Asar Thompson rebounds better. And Asar Thompson plays just as good of defense, if not better. And he rebounds. Now I get it. Jaren Jackson also knocks down threes, and that's beautiful, but so does Stu. Stu now shoots it close to 40%. And if he starts getting that volume up, he's better than Jaren Jackson. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What has Jaren Jackson done offensively that I haven't seen Isaiah Stewart do this year offensively or in the past? Like, I've seen him attack straight line drive, uh, attacking closeouts in a straight line drive. I've seen him posting up smaller players. I've seen him being able to defend the rim. He's one of the best in the business. I've seen him move his feet on the perimeter and contain guards and wings and forwards and centers. I've seen that versatility. He can anchor a defense. He communicates well. He has leadership intangibles. He's the heart and soul of our team. What is Jaren Jackson doing here? And then when it comes to Anthony Davis, yo, no, hell no. Anthony Davis, look, I'm a big Anthony Davis fan, right? But Anthony Davis is not coming to this young team and thinking I'm going to rejuvenate my career and all of a sudden work my tail off to be able to get into the best shape possible. Never. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. If it's not happening in Dallas with Kyrie and uh, Clay Thompson and Cooper Flag and that crew with PJ Washington and Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford. And I like that crew. Cam Christie and Jaden Hardy and Najee Marshall, Caleb Martin. Like, I love the whole roster all the way through. If that team isn't motivating him to come into the season in great shape, stay healthy, be all he can be, it ain't going to happen here. He not trying to run like we trying to run. He's not. He's a great talent, though. But if you're ready to win this year, if you're ready to win right now, and even then, there's a growth learning curve. When you introduce a talent like that, everything has to change around him. Right now with Ivy, Duran, everything doesn't have to change. We got the system. We got the role. It's set up for you. It's set up. So, no. All these pundits talking about, man, these dudes are just trying to get you to click, man. They just trying to get you to click. Yo, Frank Nitty, what's good? Salute to you, brother, in the chat. Yo, I got 40 people in the chat. Smash the like button for me, y'all. Hey, I appreciate y'all being here, sharing your Friday evening with me. Remember, it's a little thing for you, but a big thing for the channel. Smash the like button. You know what I mean? So hit the little like button, hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. Share it with your friends and family. Get in this live together. Chop it up in the chat. It's a great community here. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Come through. Smash the like button for me. It makes a big difference. With that said, I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot to take a step back. It's a lot to imagine Ron Holland and Marcus Sasser. I mean, I love Marcus Sasser's game. That's a hooper after my own heart, bro. After my own heart. I love his that little snatch back, step back, his little man. Every time he shoot, I'm just like, it's good. It's good. I'm bro, every time it comes out of his fingers, I'm like, it looks wet. I ain't got nothing to say to it. But it might be best for him to go to the G League. It might be best for Marcus Sasser, Chaz Zanir, Ron Holland, Bobby Clement, Tolu Smith to get as many G League reps as possible. Now, I know we're seeing a lot of guys do work down there. Ivy's been down there, right? LeBron spent time down there, right, to get himself going. Get yourselves going. Don't just sit there rotting on the bench. Don't just do that. Get you some minutes. Get you some reps in a primary role where you can get your rhythm so that when you come into a game, especially if we blow out a team, like imagine if you blow out Milwaukee, right? Let's say you played tonight for the Motor City Cruise, right? And Ron Holland had 22. Marcus Sasser had 25. Bobby had 18 and 12. Tolu had 14 and 16, right? Chazanier knocked down 4 to 6 threes, right? And you feeling good about yourself. And then you come in tomorrow to Milwaukee's game and we blow the brakes off of them, right? And now we up by 18, 19, 20. And JB's looking like, you know what? Karis Duncan, y'all done got your minutes. You're good. Let's get these young fellas in there to close out this game, the last 6 to 8 minutes of the fourth quarter, right? And all of a sudden, Marcus, Chaz, Ron, Bobby, and Tolu are putting belt to ass, and they just whooping them boys and running them off the court, and they're like bucket after bucket, execution, moving the ball, looking sharp, locking down on defense, communicating. They're like, yo, who are these cats? Everyone's going to be like, who are them? Who are them? Where they get them at? That's they on your squad too? Hot damn. Right? That's how you want to come in. Not sitting there like, man, I ain't played in a game in so long. I ain't got more than 2, 3 shots up in a game in months since summer league or preseason. You know what I mean? Like that's not how you want to come into a game. Get you your reps in the G League. I 100% believe that that's what JB Bickerstaff and their staff needs to do. Pull them all into a room and be like, this is the situation. Ivy is back. Tobias is back. Matter of fact, they should already be talking to them. Tobias is back. Ivy's back. Karras, Duncan are all healthy. Um, Paul Reed is doing his thing. Dennis Jenkins is just, you see what he's doing. You see what he's doing. There's not going to be minutes for you, at least to expect every single game. So we're going to have you in the G League. We're going to send you there to hoop your asses off. You're going to be starting. You're going to get all the shot attempts you could want. And not to just ball hog, but to play Detroit style basketball, but show that you can win. Because remember, the G League are NCAA All-Stars. They're not what it used to be, the developmental league, where it's guys who are just like, oh, okay, we're just trying to get better. No, 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 no. This is a league, bro. The G League, the G is legit. And you know what needs to happen? I'll keep it banned with you. They need to have their own channel. If they don't already, they need to be, and I think they do on the NBA.com website or on the app. They actually show the games or they promote the games and you can see them going on. But like, I need to see more. I need to see a designated NBA G League channel. Maybe get an app where we can watch all the games. They may already have it. I might be tripping. But I'll tell you this much though. If I know that Marcus, Chaz, Ron, Bobby, and Tolu are all down there starting, hooping, bro, I'm watching that. Bro. I'm watching that. Could you imagine if we were peeping Dennis Jenkins hard like downtown Deuce was and saw him coming from the G and all of a sudden like, nah, bro, this dude is legit. I would just look at box scores and be like, okay, he seemed cool, but I was still holding out hope for Marcus Sasser to get that spot. But he came in, the rest is history. All that's to say is I need to see an opportunity for these guys. And if it's not going to be on the NBA court for the Pistons in terms of guaranteed minutes, get it in the G. Get it in the G League. Hoop, bro. Go down there and dominate. Because you know who might try to make a trade? A team that's desperate for a point guard. I'm trying to think of the name of the team. A bunch of their point guards are all hurt. Memphis. All their point guards is hurt. They got to put Vince Williams at the point because Ja's hurt. Scottie Pippen is hurt. Right? Houston needs a point, even though I like Aaron Holiday, and I kept saying Aaron Holiday needs to get minutes. They're trying to force feed Reed Shepard. Reed Shepard is more of an off guard, more of a combo guard. Aaron Holiday can run the show, and he plays tough. He's a dog on defense. He does a lot for them. I could see a Memphis Grizzlies looking at Marcus Sasser and seeing him hoop in the G League, get 20 plus points per game, 6 to 8 assists a game, efficient, looking like a true professional down there. And they're like, hey, look, Detroit, yo, I know y'all got Dennis. I know y'all got Ivy and Cade. Look, let me see this dude, Marcus, real quick, though. I'm going to slide you 2 seconds. I know he was at end of the first round pickup for you, but our first round pick is going to be high in the draft, more than likely, right? A team like Miami. Dom, you already know. Dallas. Oh, my God. Dallas, bro. Dallas could use a Marcus Sasser, bro. Bro, Marcus Sasser in Dallas right now would look like Jalen Brunson did. 100%. 100%. How he's been working over the offseason and the chip on his shoulder. Yo, Marcus Sasser could go somewhere and blow the freak up. But people got to see you play. Go to the G. And I'll tell you right now, Ron ain't going to have his heart broken. If he sees Marcus Sasser, take that on the chin and be like, all right, I'm going to go down there and hoop. I'm going to bust their ass. Every possession, bro. I'm about to make them look so foolish. I'm about to have highlights. I'm gonna be crossing brothers up. I'm about to be giving them the nasty. I should have never been down here. Should have never been down. You should go down there pissed. Jump the ball. Give me the rock. Give me the rock. I wish you would guard me within 5 feet. I wish you would. Kings are always desperate. I wouldn't wish Marcus Sasser on the Kings at all. It's a dysfunctional franchise. I wouldn't wish him on the Kings. But if you look at a team like, let's say, the New Orleans Pelicans, who could use a shot creator, shot maker at that lead guard position, Marcus Sasser could be huge for him. Right? There's a lot of teams. Miami, like I said, Memphis, New Orleans, Dallas, who could use a Marcus Sasser right now. Sass, go down there and hoop and bust their ass and get you that attention. Yeah, Fear's been balling for New Orleans, and then the backup, um, what's his name? I always forget his name. The backup point guard, I like him a lot. He actually hit a game winner the other day. Um, what's his name? Jose Alvarado. Jose Alvarado. He been doing his thing too. You know what I mean? Um, but it's to say like they could use a legit shot creator, like shot maker. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of teams that could use that. Playoff teams too. Yeah, Derek Queen been looking nice for him too. Hey, you seen the short video I did, right, Dom? I told y'all, Joe Duke, man, stop listening to these mainstream ESPN analysts that force feed you narratives that they want you to adopt and believe. They telling you, oh, it was Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver's fault that the Monty Williams. I keep telling y'all that was the owner who brought in Monty Williams. That was not Troy. Didn't nobody want Monty. Monty looked good because he had great point guards. When he was in New Orleans, he had Rajon Rondo and Drew Holiday and Tyreek Evans. He had great point guard play. He went to Phoenix. He looked like nothing until he had who? Chris Paul. And he rode that wave. He had no business being in Detroit because he did not have the personnel to insulate him for what he didn't do well. That's the reality. All it's to say is Troy Weaver and Joe Dumars, well, they got the blame. They got the blame. And it happens many times. You have no idea how much these NBA team owners, and this is a called second diatribe. I'm gonna do a little quick diatribe and I'm gonna get back and I'm gonna wrap this up. Um, how many of these team owners, hey, real talk, they be out there messing with the secret sauce, bro. Messing with the secret. You got the sauce, it's down, it's tasty. Smacking. You got your ribs smothering the sauce all on it. Man, everybody love your sauce. You come in there, everybody, what's in the sauce? I can't tell you what's in the sauce. What's in the sauce? Did you bring the sauce? I got the sauce. Did you bring extra sauce? I like to take some sauce home. I got extra sauce. I got plenty of the sauce. Sauce is fire. It's delicious. It's wonderful. It's amazing. And then you have the team owner coming, hey, I got this restaurant. Could really use your sauce. It's great sauce. And like, you sure? Because my sauce is my sauce. I know it's the sauce. I'm going to pay you to bring in the sauce. You going to pay me to bring in the sauce? I'm going to get the sauce. All right, I'm going to bring the sauce in. You pay me to bring the sauce. Bring the sauce. Everybody love the sauce. The sauce is saucing. It's doing its thing. Then all of a sudden, the owner of the restaurant come over and say, but what if you add some more paprika? And you look at him like, the fuck? He come over there and he's like, ooh, you know what I love? I love that everything but the bagel seasoning. He's like, on ribs, my nigga? On ribs? What are we talking about? The fuck is you talking about? Right? You got the sauce. Dwayne Casey. People forget how highly sought after Dwayne Casey was when he was in Dallas when they won that championship. He was the cream of the crop. The cream of the crop. And he had all these offers and he waited for the right offer for Toronto. My man, the previous team president, right, brings him in. Masai Ujiri brings him in, gets the guy. And together they turn that franchise around. Kyle Lowry all of a sudden becomes a guy. DeMar DeRozan becomes a guy. They hooping. They doing their thing. They winning. They Eastern Conference Finals. Then all of a sudden the owner want to come in. Nah, I think we need a different coach. We need somebody to put him over the top. Let's go get this guy. what the head coach in Philly. I always forget his name. I don't even care. I don't even like him that much. He's cool. He was cool. But then now all of a sudden they bring in Kawhi Leonard and then they win. And now he gets all the glory and we forget about Dwayne Casey and all the work he put in to establish that thing. As if he couldn't have won with Kawhi Leonard too, especially when the Warriors players get hurt. And then now you see all of a sudden when Kawhi left and the team needed their coach to coach his ass off and keep him in it, he didn't even want to be there. He quit on them. He literally quit on the Raptors. Right? So this is you have to like people always take for granted a lot of individuals, and a lot of it is the narratives created through ESPN, these mainstream outlets. This is why I support smaller channels. Don't let me see a channel with only 300 subscribers, right? Hell yeah. Let me check you out. Put some in your comments. Get your algorithm up, right? Because I know that it's more for the love. It's genuine. You're not out here just trying to do clickbait. You're not out here just trying to, more than likely, you're not out here just being manipulated. And so I support the little men. I support small businesses. I'm the same 100 grand. Yo, you know what I mean? Like, I support community. Look, it's all that. Look, let me just get back to this. Look, I need to wrap this up. It's been 90 minutes in this thing. Um, Look, I always like to leave with a word of the day. Word of the day. And I think it's apropos for what we're talking about in terms of the bench unit and guys having to take a step back. Don't be afraid of life when it takes a step back. Don't be afraid of life when you have to take a step back. Look, life is not linear. And this is something that took me a long time to learn. I think many times we have life proposed as if it's a straight line, going from here to here. And if you work hard enough, you do all the right things, it moves smoothly in this fashion. The reality is, though, life does this. It does this. And that's not wrong. It's not bad. That's actually your path to grow, to learn, to develop so that you can become who you are meant to be. Sometimes you're going to have to take a step back. And that step back is not wrong. It's not bad. Many times that's an opportunity for reflection, for growth, for change, so you can change and evolve and become who you're needing to be for the next chapter, for the next thing that's coming in life, right? Many times that's a season where you are able to get rest so you have the energy for the next portion of life. Sometimes things are going to drop off and fail so that you can recognize things that you maybe didn't see on the way up and areas where you need to grow. And now those things get exposed and there's a fall off. Okay, that's going to happen. Remember that old Jordan commercial? He's walking down the tunnel. He's got the big old pea coat on and the suit, looking all smooth. And they walk in and they're like 2,475 made shots in the clutch. 75 go ahead game winning shots, right? 265, and then they start going into the misses. They go, we had like 3,000 some misses in crunch time. He had 180 something misses in the final game winning shot. And then at the end, Jordan's like, and that's why I succeed. And it's like, it's the smooth. I probably didn't say it perfectly. I might try to pull up and put a clip in there, you know what I mean? So you could watch that commercial. But failure is a part of the process. It's through your failures that you learn. It's through your failures that you figure out what you need to improve upon. When Kobe airballed that shot against the Utah Jazz in his first or second year, I think it was, when he got into the playoffs, right, with the Lakers, he misses this shot, and everybody's like, oh, did you know Kobe stayed in the gym that entire summer? He worked on that shot and almost every other aspect of his game. He grinded. The pain of that failure drove him, drove him, and he came back. Look at LeBron and his second time in the finals against the Dallas Mavericks. That was a juggernaut of a team, full of Hall of Famers. Jason Terry, one of the greatest six men in NBA history, won it several times. Jason Kidd, one of the greatest point guards in NBA history, first ballot Hall of Famer. You have Sean Marion, one of the greatest versatile forwards in the game, nicknamed the Matrix, right? You had Dirk Nowitzki, right? Who's coined his own shot off the one leg fadeaway 7-footer. Dirk was nasty, bro. Nasty. Nasty, bro. You put Dirk in today's game, bro, he's like if Lauri Markkinen was mixed with like Luka's shot creation. I kid you not. At 7 feet tall, he can give it to you off the bounce, step back, get right to his spots. Off the bounce. You couldn't do nothing with him, bro. And then Tyson Chandler, reigning defensive player of the year, 7'1", springy, straight out of high school, coming out of LA, right? They had squad. Deshaun Stevenson, he's from right around the way from Vallejo, right? Hoop, like they had a squad, and that loss to them, plus Rick Carlisle, one of the best coaches in NBA history. But as to say that loss drove LeBron that summer to figure himself out, to tinker, figure it out, and he came back greater than he ever was. Failure is a part of the process. Don't be afraid of stepping back. Don't be afraid of sitting down. Don't be afraid of sitting down and resting and reflecting. It's a part of the process. The shit ain't linear. Shit ain't sweet. It ain't easy. If you just do all the things that you think are right, it's all supposed to pan out. That ain't life. Not with your marriage, not with your raising your kids, not with your career, not with school, not with nothing. Not with nothing. But it's about your expectations. Don't be scared of taking a step back. Y'all hope that meant something to somebody. As always, I appreciate everybody who shows up for my lives. It's been 91 minutes, hot damn, hour and a half here on a Friday night. I got Shorty coming over in a little bit. We're supposed to go out a little bit. So I got to get off and take a shower. Um, but I appreciate all y'all for your time, your energy. Y'all are hella dope. Smash the like button for me if you haven't already. Remember, it's a small thing for you, but a big thing for the channel. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, share it with somebody. I appreciate all y'all. Love y'all. And definitely Dom with the super chat. Man, you're a real one for that. I appreciate every single time I get love like that. That shit means something. Y'all have an amazing evening. Stay safe out there. Remember, live life to the fullest, love deeply, and laugh your ass off. And I'm going to get at y'all tomorrow morning. Peace.